There's been a lot of media coverage lately about prediction markets and insider trading. So $100 million was traded on the Super Bowl on whether or not Bad Bunny would be performing on different markets like Kalshi and Polymarket. And there's reports that 24 hours before the Super Bowl, somebody set up an account and bet on nothing but prop bets on the halftime performances for the Super Bowl at Polymarket and won all of them. So this is technically under the CFTC, but the CFTC has suffered severe staffing cuts under the current administration. A news report came out recently that there is one attorney left in enforcement in Chicago. So traditionally, the CFTC has been much smaller than the SEC, about 1/8 the size, but with recent budget cuts, it's even smaller. And so they might not have the manpower to address fraud in the traditional markets that they regulate, let alone this brave new world of prediction markets where anyone can bet on anything. So let's go over some of the legal issues surrounding it. First of all, the SEC and CFTC have civil jurisdiction over these violations, insider trading, the securities for the securities markets and commodities for the CFTC, but they don't have criminal authority. So criminal authority still rests with the Department of Justice. And anything that is a civil violation could also be criminal. And Jay Clayton, the assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, said this month that they will be looking into fraud prosecutions for things committed on the prediction markets, particularly around the Super Bowl, which was in the news at the time. So is insider trading a crime under the Commodity Exchange Act? Technically it is, but it wasn't always that way. Up until the great financial crisis, people were surprised to learn that things like insider trading were not banned. In fact, if you saw the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy, there's a scene in there where they get access to a confidential government report and they trade on that and make a bunch of money. And up until after the great financial crisis, what they did was not illegal. And after that, the great financial crisis, they actually passed a section of the Commodity Exchange Act that prohibited that conduct with regard to information on government activities, and they called that the Eddie Murphy Rule. But this rule was also passed, which prevented manipulative and deceptive devices. And if you read through the rule 180.11, it reads a lot like the 10b-5 in the securities law. And so when interpreting this, because it uses the same language and because there's not a lot of cases dealing with commodities law, you would probably read into it securities cases as persuasive authority when arguing these cases before a judge. And traditionally, when the CFTC or SEC has brought actions against people, the SEC's rule, which this is based on, there are two lines of cases which give them the legal justifications to bring these sort of cases. And one of them is known as the misappropriation theory, and the other one is known as the fraud on the market theory. The fraud on the market theory is based on the thought that the markets are efficient and that people who commit these types of activities distort market realities, and they are defrauding the market because they are affecting the price, and the market price is supposed to reflect all available information. However, a recent Supreme Court case has curled that back and made it much harder to prove. So not only do you have to prove that the activity was fraudulent, but that their particular activity affected the market price as opposed to everything else going on in the market. So that's much harder to prove. But the misappropriation theory is still good law and still recognized by the Supreme Court. And so under this CFTC regulation, insider trading would be prosecuted civilly, and it would be wire fraud, which could be prosecuted criminally by the Assistant U.S. Attorney, Jay Clayton. And if the prediction markets catch you doing it, they could obviously null your trades and keep your money. So this is this is Kalshi's rule book. There's several versions floating around, but this is the most recent one, 5.17, prohibited transactions and activities. And I read their rule book, so you don't have to. And if you skip down to Y, you'll see that if a trader has access to material non-public information that is subject of the underlying contract, such as whether or not Bad Bunny is going to perform, then you're prohibited from entering into that trade. So if you were a backup dancer or somebody who worked at the arena and you knew who was going to perform and you chose to trade on that, that could be a problem for you. The only thing is they would have to catch you and they would have to report you to the CFTC, which, as I said, has one attorney left in Chicago, and decide to prosecute you for that civilly or criminally if Jay Clayton in New York wants to take a look at it. But it is a violation. So there's some nuance to the misappropriation theory. It doesn't just have to be the attorney or CPA. It can be anyone that works there, even if they don't have a signed NDA or anything like that. It can even be the janitor. So it definitely could be a backup dancer if she bet on that and made money. That would be actionable. So under the misappropriation theory, everything that you've seen there belongs to the employer, and by you using that for personal gain, you've misappropriated that. So, whether you are the attorney under a legal obligation to maintain that confidence, or you've signed an NDA or anything like that, that doesn't matter. If you are the janitor and you see merger documents and you bet on that, if you are the backup dancer, you could still be liable under the misappropriation theory. The only wrinkle to that is, let's say two lawyers are screaming about a merger, and they have absolute duty of confidentiality to their client, but they're screaming about it while sitting on a park bench, and somebody walks by and hears that. Can he bet on that? Sure, because there was no expectation of privacy, and there was no duty to any employer or anything that he misappropriated by overhearing that and trading on that. But in the cases that are being discussed on the news with people betting on whether or not Cardi B was going to perform and whether Bad Bunny was going to perform, and the person who opened up an account 24 hours before that and bet on nothing but halftime prop bets and won all of them, those cases are a lot more clear cut. So if a prediction market like Kalshi catches you doing this, they could halt the trade and seize your money and refer you to the CFTC or to the prosecutor. But what about the people that were betting on Polymarket? So Polymarket is located overseas, and it's very easy for a U.S. person to open an account at some of these foreign exchanges just by using a VPN and appearing to be not located in the United States. And because those exchanges run on crypto, if something is on the Ethereum network or something like that, and after the trade has occurred, you get the money, it would be very hard to undo that, if not impossible. And it would also be very hard to find out who you are, because the reason that people like trading overseas on prediction markets is that you don't have the same requirements for anti-money laundering and know your customer that you would in the US. But the difficulty in catching the person is just an aside, because the crime has occurred and it is punishable if they catch you. So anyway, that's my take on that. I'm a lawyer with 22 years experience at the CFTC, and prior to that, I worked as a securities lawyer in a law firm doing mergers and acquisitions. And this website and this channel is for educational and informational purposes only. And if you want to work with me on a consulting or legal basis, you can get in touch with me through the contact info in my bio. But this is not legal advice and doesn't create an attorney-client relationship between you and I. So if you got something out of this, just like and subscribe so that you will see future videos, and it will help other people to see this. And if you have any questions about this particularly, or prediction markets in general, just leave them in the comments. Have a great day, everyone.